Everyone
Yeah,
in
you
this
can
game,
keep
yeah,
keep
definitely.
yeah keep ABS on weak.
Yeah. Um, I was just gonna mention, make sure you're on the sports hard tires, because that'll make a huge difference here.
Yes, that's correct. Make sure you have the specs of the car too. So you should have the 86 GT, the 2015. The weight of the car should be 2,717 or 12 pounds, and then the power should be 197. Um, and then I think I posted all the specs of the car in the Discord channel. So if you haven't gone through there, make sure you do that with the car too. I added the sports suspension, the non-adjustable kind, and then I added some body like modifications, like the front spoiler, the rear spoiler, and the side skirts. And make sure you do add those because they do make a very small difference in the car's performance and handling. And then, yeah, like Toasty said, the sports hard tires. It is not. You have to go to the GT Auto, and then oh yeah, in the tuning, yeah, it's default. Just leave it as is. I think the settings is 60 in the front and then 150 in the rear. Yeah. Yeah, so I think you should be able to get around 40 miles an hour. If anyone can um, maintain above that and going around the circle, let me know what you're doing because I can't get above that without breaking traction or without understeering off the circle. But another thing you guys might want to do, and it might be worth doing this too, where you just turn down the party chat in favor of game audio, just so you can hear the tires squealing more as you're doing this. Because the tire squealing is like pretty important, and it's a pretty good audio indicator of like knowing whether or not your car is pretty close to the edge of grip. And if there's any absence of tire squeal, then you definitely know that you're under the limit, right? So it's a very important audio cue, especially for sim racing.
Ah,
Yeah, and that's actually really great then, because you know, like right, you're letting off the gas whenever you need to turn a little bit more, right? And then once you're good, you can basically get on the gas a little bit, right? Yeah, yeah. And steering with the pedal is a very important concept, I think, that we'll get into in a couple sessions from now. But also try doing like getting a little bit more on the gas and turning the steering wheel way more, like way more than you're used to. And in this game, you'll get to a certain point where like you can actually feel if your wheel is like has the fidelity of like the car understeering, right? And when the car is doing that understeer, then it's definitely past the limit, and you're not really optimizing the grip of the front tires. So you're just kind of like introducing additional tire wear to the front tires of your car.
Right. So the reason why the wheel gets lighter when you go past that point of the wheel being turned at the optimal degrees, I guess, that's why the wheel feels lighter, because the front tires are sliding that much more. They're not providing as much grip. They're not biting into the road or the track as much, so the wheel gets light.
Yep.
is the speedometer in the car miles per hour or kilometers?
Kilometers.
Oh,
The
Not
actual
not in the dashboard. You talking about the
yeah,
dashboard?
I'm in VR, so I have nothing but what the car says.
Uh,
It's
yeah,
kilometers.
Okay. Well, I was doing it about 77 kilometers.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about
And
40, 45, give or
yeah,
take.
like the car had, like I felt it lose like a little bit of grip and it started like almost wanting to drift, but I was just holding it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 40 miles an hour ish.
Yeah, and make sure you can feel the difference between the optimal level of grip and what Toasty was describing earlier when the front kind of gets light because you're understeering. Like there's a very definite threshold in GT7 where it feels all of a sudden the wheel feels a little bit lighter as you try to accelerate a bit more.
Yeah, definitely have a chatter. Probably just depends on wheel and vibration settings and all that stuff too.
Yeah, depending on what wheel you have, you'll get the vibration instead of the wheel getting light. I remember I had that in GT Sport a lot with the same wheel I'm using now, but in this game the wheel gets light instead of vibrates.
Yeah, my wheel is when it's as soon as it gets like right there on the, it starts losing the grip, it starts vibrating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the more you're like twisted after that, the harder it vibrates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's understeer territory, yeah. Yeah. I think chatter, the vibration chatter, like is another good indicator. Like mine does a little bit of both. Like the vibrations probably get a little bit more intense.
I can get
Okay.
it to 42 miles an hour if I like balance the rear slide to like give it a little gas and
Yeah, just like kind of like punch the throttle a little bit,
yeah, steer with all four
modulate it.
tires.
Yeah. Okay, my arm's getting tired. Okay, we'll do this for a couple more minutes, and then. But you guys got that feeling down now, right? Like that the clear like moment when the car definitely feels like it's going past the limit versus like optimal, right? Optimal is like really good tire squeal and then not no like chatter in the wheel or and even like when you're with just like driving the car you get the sense the car is rotating correctly, not like you can kind of visually sense when the car is like the back is going out or whenever the car is understeering because you're going off of that line as you accelerate. And then I was just gonna add that, and then like you can kind of intuitively just fix that problem by either just slowing down, right, or speeding up by increasing, the speed of the car or decreasing the speed of the car. You can match the radius of that circle on the skid pad. And so a lot of like what we're gonna do in this academy is gonna be focusing on driving the car and how the car reacts to your inputs, right? Like you accelerate and then the car starts to steer outwards, or like you slow down and you brake and you can actually rotate the car more than normal and stuff like that. So those are the things that we're going to be really focusing on, just like driving the car, getting a sense of how the car feels during these different scenarios and inputs, and then applying that on track to like a racing line. But it's going to be the focus of this thing is going to be less about the actual racing line itself and more about focusing on these driver inputs and how the car reacts, because once you get those down, the sort of racing line becomes more intuitive, because you're going to be on the limit for the most time. So like, it's almost as if the racing line is a result of you getting the most out of the car, as opposed to you just driving on the racing line and thinking that's the fastest way to go, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the times people will drive on the racing line, but under the limit of grip in the car and thinking that they're optimal, right? Where it should be the other way around, where you're driving the car optimally, and then naturally you're going to just use the racing line because that's the best way to get the most grip out of the car around a corner. But what I've seen is like when people say, hey, drive this line, they'll drive the line, but they'll just do it severely under the limit, and it doesn't really help them at all. Okay, so keep going around in circles for a little bit longer. I'm going to set up the lobby for the next exercise. And then we'll all get to be on track together, which will be exciting. Definitely more exciting than driving around in circles. No, like this NASCAR, if anyone likes NASCAR here. Alright, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I don't think it's necessary anymore. So let me just stop the screen share. Okay.
Nosy. I'm going to turn on my telemetry and see how much the tires heat up doing this.
Gran Turismo is interesting with the higher temperature. They gain and lose heat very quickly.
No.
Yeah,
You,
we can hear you.
you have to be at either extreme for it to show up.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, no worries. Oh shoot.
Willow Springs? This
You
is not
should be able
unlocked
to
or
have
something? No.
Okay, well.
What's the
You
issue?
have
Okay, I mean you'll be able to basically do the same exercise in this next track because it's got like a really wide turn, so you'll be able to basically focus on what I've been talking about in this lobby. Yeah. I'm gonna create a multi. Oh, do you have multiplayer unlocked? Okay, you do. Okay, good. All right.
It's interesting. So I'm going around clockwise direction, and the right rear is icy cold, and the left front is nice and warm. But it's not hot.
Sounds about right.
And then the other two diagonal corners are kind of just there. They're not really changing temperature at all.
Alright, I almost got this lobby up and running. Just give me a couple more
There we go.
minutes.
So you said clockwise, and then the right rear is cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's the tire that has the less load on it.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
think about like how the car is leaning and everything.
Yeah, I've got 127 degrees on the right rear, and the left front is 159.
Yep.
And the other two are like 144, 145, something like that. And then if you push it a little bit, then
So in karting, when you do like a right-hand turn, for instance, or a left-hand turn, the rear wheel in the back that's on the inside actually lifts off the track. So like if you're turning at the optimal like speed and grip, like that tire will actually won't be touching the ground. It's actually pretty intense.
Yeah.
I found that out.
So when karting, you want 3 tires on the road.
Yeah. So you actually want to lean. Some people say you should actually lean outwards.
Yeah, onto the outside
And that
tire.
actually that'll actually exaggerate the tire on the inside even more being off the ground, right? Because you're leaning towards where the tires are contacting the tarmac, and then you're trying to actually get that tire off the ground because you want to maximize the grip on the outside tire as you turn. Okay. All right. I think I have this lobby set up correctly. So I'll just create the room. I just created the room right now. So if you go into the multiplayer lobby section of the game, there's like a little checkbox at the top that you can say filter lobbies with friends or whatever. And then you should be able to see the one that says LRC Academy.
There's so many little karting tricks. I just love the idea of human DRS. I find that so funny. Like in a straight, you just like lean
You
down
ducked it.
and
Yeah.
less drag.
Honestly, I actually don't think that makes much of a difference, to be honest. I
No.
think when people do it, it's just like, I don't know.
Well,
It'll at best give you like a I don't know, 1,000th of a second. It's just like,
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
also
it's
the
just funny.
issue is aero doesn't matter until like 60-ish miles an hour. So until then, you're just, hurting your back.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean in like the high powered carts, like
Ah,
the fast,
I mean, even in the
well
so
not fast
shifters,
powered one.
right? You'll get like, I guess in
Yeah,
shifters you'll get up to like 80, 90, um,
things
and
are
maybe
great.
even the super carts or whatever. You're like almost practically lying down, so it's a little bit different. But shifter
That's
carts,
true.
yeah, the shifter carts might, but like, I don't know. It, there's probably more important things you got to work on to make yourself faster than to
Oh yeah,
like give
for sure.
yourself a couple thousandths of a second down the straightaway. All right. Yep. Yep.
mm-hmm.
Multiplayer lobby. And then there's like a checkbox at the top somewhere. You can check it to just only show lobbies from friends. And I think everyone here I've added as a friend. So you should be able to see the lobby that I created. If you don't, definitely let me know.
I had wide wheels on and it wouldn't let me in.
Bro, we're on a voice chat with Darth Vader.
Yeah. Wide wheels or wide body car?
No, it was wide wheels. It was at 477.71. I just put the standard wheels on.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
So it's the only thing
Uh,
I can think of because the only thing that I didn't do that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, wide wheels will change the PP just like ever so slightly.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, like one at most.
Yeah. Okay, so let me. All right, so let me talk about what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on in this course. So, on this one, turn one is a very wide right-hander, and it's essentially gonna be what we've just worked on, right? Like making sure your car is at the limit of grip throughout the entire turn, and then you have like an S bend. So you want to also make sure your car is at the limit of grip on those as well. But
Whoa!
first and foremost, try to keep your car on track, right? And then this is when we're going to start working on our braking references, right? So going into the hairpin at the back part of the track, pick out a braking reference. So like a point on the track that will serve as a point where you can just use to apply the brakes. I haven't ran this yet with this car, but I think, I mean, whatever point you choose, make sure it's something that doesn't move and it's easy. You can see it from pretty much any part of the track. And then again, around the hairpin, just focus on keeping that grip of that car at the max, right? Like try to keep that tire squeal going. Alright, I'm gonna hop in and do a couple.
Yep.
Well, it kind of depends a little bit. So if, for instance, you're exiting a corner and you have a lot of space left, right? And you need to keep the throttle up and you're understeering ever so slightly, then it's okay to keep it floored, right? But if you find yourself in the middle of the corner and you're understeering and you're not going to make the current turn, right? You're going to have to let off. But in general, you don't want to be understeering much at all in the entrance of a corner or even in the middle of the corner, right? It kind of just depends. Mm-hmm. I mean, whichever one's better is the one that is faster, right? So, if you have to, in this case, it sounds like you have to keep the floor, like the throttle of the car on to basically have the car's back kind of almost slide a little bit, right, for the car to point in the right direction and make the corner. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah, that's something a little bit more complex that we'll probably talk about later. But yeah, in effect, I think what's happening in that situation is that your car, when you accelerate, you're creating a slip angle that's a little bit better when you accelerate than when not accelerating. So the back is kind of sliding just ever so slightly, and it's helping the car rotate more when you're on the accelerator versus when you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the key takeaway there is that a car doesn't only rotate from the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, no TC.
Yep.
Okay, couple things I want to point out is that, so you know how earlier, whenever we were talking about how you can kind of steer with the pedal. So going into turn 1, right? Try to use all the track on the exit on the left side by increasing your speed, right? So if you're exiting turn 1 and you find yourself all the inside of the turn, right? That means you still have room for speed on the exit, right? So if you're turning as maximum as you can and fast as you can on the exit of turn 1, and you find out that there's space on the left side, that means you can actually go faster, right? You can actually increase your speed to make use of all the track that's on the left side of that the exit of turn 1. Likewise, if you're entering turn 1 and you find yourself it's hard for you to hit the apex and kind of hug the inside curb, then you can obviously let go of the accelerator and maybe even like slightly tap the brake if you need to help rotate the car more. But like your car should be on that inside curb, like or very close to the inside curb. And then as you start exiting turn 1, you gotta you can use the speed of your car to make use of the exit of the track on exit. And that's what it usually means when people say like, oh, you should be using, the whole track whenever you're going through a turn, making use of the entire width of the track. So in this case, you want to increase your speed on the exit of turn 1 to make sure that there's virtually no room left on the left side of the track when you leave. You want to be right before you get to that chatter.
Damn it, Toasty. I got your fast lap, and then literally just 10 seconds later you got that fast lap back.
Uh-oh.
So like a mid 46 now.
So
I'm seeing
he has a
46.3. Yeah. 0.4 basically though. I'm about a tenth away from Toasty. I think.
Toasty has a 46.5. I have a 46.6.
Wait, why is it saying 46.395 on mine?
Yeah, that's what it says on mine too.
That's weird. But I still see Toasty as fast as lap. Are you on track, Wonka?
What was that?
Are you on track, Bunko? Because sometimes it doesn't
Yeah, I'm on track.
act. That's weird.
I've accidentally broken the system.
Here goes. Fastest lap. Oh.
Nice.
Okay, now I see it at 46.1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll spectate a few people and see what's going on
Or 19. No, that's dinosaur. Red line, which is 75. Actually, let me look at torque graph while we're here. I'll tell you what time.
Probably around 7, I think.
Peak is 7,500. Peak torque is roughly probably high 6, but peak power is 7,500.
Oh no!
So
Sorry,
real
Kraken.
quick, is anyone having trouble like getting to that limit of grip, especially around turn 1? Okay. Is anyone having trouble getting to that, or is it like, I feel like it's pretty easy to get there, but it's one thing to get to that limit, but also kind of maintain it through the corner, and then also kind of use the speed of the car to kind of position the car where you want it to be. So when you get to turn 1, right, you want to start letting off the accelerator to slow the speed of the car down so you can kind of get to the apex, and then once you're at the apex or the inside part of the track on the inside curb, then you can start hitting the accelerator, right, to not only accelerate the speed of the car, but also kind of push the car out to the left side, right? So again, we're using the speed of the car and our accelerator to kind of basically place where we want the car to be when we're turning at its limit. So just keep focusing on turn 1 and nailing turn 1. The other turns, just kind of like go through them and just do your best, but like really focus on your inputs going into turn 1 and then leaving at turn 1 as well. I've been treating it as a single apex.
It's just a big fat ass apex.
Yeah.
It seems like it tightens a little bit as it goes, so I've been going for a later apex than the halfway point.
Yeah, ideally you want to late apex it, but I wouldn't focus on that for now. Just like for you guys, just focus on letting off the throttle as you enter the corner, trying to get the car to rotate inwards at its limit to the inside, and then using the accelerator to get the car back outside to the left side.
Personally, what I do for T1 is a dab of the brakes, get that weight transfer off the rear, and get a little bit of a slide, a little bit of rotation.
Honestly, you don't
I
even
wasn't-
like. You don't even need to use the brakes, to be honest.
Yeah, I wasn't
Start.
using the brakes at all.
The other thing I'd like to point out too is like when you're exiting a corner, just keep the car at it. Always keep the car at its limit, right? So even if you're not using all the track, like exit the corner at the limit of your grip and the accelerator. And if you end up in the middle of the track on exit, that means you're underutilizing the speed for your exit. That means you can hit the accelerator probably a little bit earlier as you exit the corner, if that makes sense, right? But as long as you're keeping the car on the limit throughout the entire length of the corner, like that, you're doing well, right? You're kind of like understanding how the car is reacting at the limit, and you're kind of controlling the car at the limit as well. And then if you notice too that if you're able to turn the wheel more and the car reacts to it, like you can actually turn more in the middle of the corner, that means you're not on the limit, right? That means the car is not going fast enough. That means you have the ability to turn the car more, right? Because if you're at the limit, you can't. If you turn the steering wheel more, you'll start to understeer, right? So just remember that if you're in the middle of the turn and you're slowing down and the car feels like it's over rotating or it's really responsive to your wheel, that's also an indicator that you're under the limit and that you could actually go faster through the corner. So let's when you guys have your MFD open, change it to the sector time MFD, and then look at your sector 1 times. And then pay attention to your sector 1 times, not the overall lap time. So I think a good sector 1 time is like around low 15 seconds, I think. Maybe Toasty or Ryder, one of you guys can confirm.
Mine's 15.4.
Yeah. So if you guys can get in that ballpark, like in the 15 seconds, that means you guys are like really on the limit for turn 1. And that's a really, really good sign that you guys are understanding what it takes to get this car specifically around turn 1 as fast as possible.
What about the next to last turn? The hairpin is what's killing me.
Yeah, let's not, we don't need to focus on the last one just yet, right? Just focus on turn 1.
Yeah, I'm nailing sector 1. It's sector 3. It's murdering me.
Remember that hairpin down? I'll try to brake a couple feet before the curbing on the left. I keep it in third.
Alright. You go. I'll follow you.
Also, am I lagging for you by chance?
Not really.
Alright, because everyone else is just a little bit jumpy for me, but I don't know if it's the lobby or might end up being weird.
Oh yeah, that line through there felt good.
And you can abuse the shit out of these curbs.
Yay!
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
go over
nice
the
little
curbs as much as possible. The other thing, so let's quickly talk. We'll talk through this like track, like section by section. So, sector 2 is the S, right? So, the left-hander and then the right-hander. It's really important to get the entrance of the left-hander correct, because if you find yourself too far to the right or too far to the left, you're gonna have to exceed or essentially slow down the car, because you're tightening the radius of either turn, right? So in the S, you don't want to do you don't need to compromise the entrance of the left turn like you would in Mugello, for instance, like for the guys who are in iRacing, that one practice, because you're basically on the accelerator the entire time, right? So go through the turn, trying to nail the inside curb starting from all the way on the right side of the track. You want to be all the way on the right side of the track going into the S. Nail the inside of the curb, and then have the car pointed straight towards the inside of the right-hander, and kind of straight line it through the S as best as possible. If you turn any more left than you need to, your car is going to have to rotate to the right way more than is necessary, and then that's obviously going to slow your car down, because you got to rotate it more. The more rotation required, the less speed you have. So try to minimize steering inputs through the S's as best as possible, and keep the car kind of stable. And minimizing the steering right through the S will give you the highest speed, right? Because the less you're steering, the more speed you'll be able to go through the corner. So very, very smooth inputs. Smooth out your inputs.
That's pretty solid time, little what?
All right, does anyone have any questions around sector 1 or sector 2? Anyone have any difficulties anywhere?
Too much brakes. Sorry, green car. I think it's trackhead.
Trackhead.
I love all the liveries, by the way.
Fourth.
I stay in fourth the entire turn.
Yeah, fourth
Same.
Fifth is doable, but it's a bit sluggish on the way out. You get more rotation in fourth.
Yeah, definitely stay in fourth. For turn 1. A little while. You got a nice time of 46.4. Nice.
I'm sorry, did you talk to me, Waka? I was focused.
No, I said nice time. You got a
Oh, thank you.
46.4, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm on a heater, Turtle Man. I'm on a heater. Still didn't make it to the 46s though. I got a red time after being up there the whole lap. No, I yanked my e-brake.
So another thing I want to point out, one thing I want to point out, guys, is that to get a really fast lap, you shouldn't need to slide your car around. Like the moment your car is sliding past that edge of grip, you're gonna be losing crazy amounts of time. Even in the last turn, the hairpin, your car should not be sliding. Like the rear should not be sliding away. You should not be like oversteering through the corner. It should just, your car should just be at the limit of the grip, all 4 tires at the maximum. So if you find yourself, you know, the rear of the car is slipping out or whatever you're sliding through, like that's just gonna slow you down. So like, don't try to drift your car around the corner or anything like that. Like that's not gonna help. Okay, and then for the last turn, let's just talk about the last turn. So we want to find the braking point, right? And the braking point is going to be where you start braking, where it gives you enough space to be able to make sure you hit the apex of the turn. So if you find yourself, you're braking at whatever reference that you're using and you're not making the turn, just move it up a little bit, right? Move up your reference to, you know, a couple meters ahead, right? I think when I was using, the reference that I was using was the white line on the left side before the curb starts. So right after passing that white line, yeah, like right after you pass the white line, you could just hold the brakes, and then as soon as you get close to the turn-in point, just let go of the brakes and then turn your car in. Don't worry about trying to trail brake, like, you know, and try to get the car to slow down while you're turning at the same time. Like, just slow the car enough, and then just remember, like, keeping your car at the limit of the grip as you turn in, right? If you can rotate the car really easily, that means you're too slow. If you try to rotate the car and you miss the apex, that means you're too fast. So try to use what we've learned from turn 1, right, to optimize your turn through the hairpin. The only difference between the two now is that one of them you have to brake, right? Whereas the first one you kind of let go of the accelerator and coast a bit to slow down. I would recommend, if anyone is having trouble with the last turn, to get all of your braking done in a straight line first, and then do your turn. Like, focus on the just keeping that grip through the turn, as opposed to trying to like trail brake through there or something.
I don't know who it was, but someone just died on the front straight away.
Zulu. Zulu. Whoa.
The other thing I will say too is, a lot of the times drivers will try to find speed by braking later and later, but I would argue that's probably one of the easiest ways to make yourself incredibly inconsistent. So if you're finding yourself overshooting the final turn a lot and you're kind of inconsistent, start braking earlier. Just brake earlier, like even before the white line at the curbing. So like there's the white line, and then there's a patch of grass, and then the curbing. Like, brake before that white line. And then as you approach the corner, just let off the brakes to maintain speed, right? So if you brake too much, next time just brake at the same reference, but just start letting go of your brake a little bit earlier as you start to enter the corner, to keep your speed on the entrance, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so it's more important to have the highest minimum speed through a corner you can than to have the latest braking point you can.
yeah. Yep, slow in, fast out. Yeah. So yeah, try to get that speed down before the turn, and then try to get it so that your car can actually hit the apex, and you should be able to get, like, 2 tires over the inside curb.
Oh, it's toasty. I was like, who's in this orange car? I'm a pretty fast lap, and you gained on me. Ah, I see.
Hey. There you go.
Nice. A lot of you, I'm still seeing a lot of you guys braking way too late for the hairpin. Like brake way earlier, guys. Like way earlier, and then. Who's speaking? Be French. Yeah. I'll watch a lot. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, eventually if your tires start to wear out a lot, you guys can go pit in for a new set. Yeah, that was a good turn 3. Sorry, not turn 3. It was a good hairpin turn. I would say for turn 1 actually, you're leaving a lot of speed on the table. So try to get your car on the inside of the curb towards the middle of the turn. So like slow down the car a little bit. Yeah, there you go. And then hit the accelerator to get your car. You want your car to be positioned almost to the left side of the track on the exit, right? So because you exited the turn 1 on the right side of the track, you're leaving speed on the table. So I would say like letting go of the accelerator a little bit more on the entrance so you can actually rotate the car into the apex, and then get on the accelerator early so that your car kind of starts getting pushed out wide, but you gain more speed on the exit. Yeah. I think he's on auto drive, so I think you're good.
I'm not. I'm just letting the tire cool down. The front left is hot. I just put the old flashers on, so.
Yeah, there you go. That was better.
He looked like he was trying to do some drift moves and
I
it
was
didn't
seeing
pan
how
out.
sideways I unsettled I could get the car on the straight.
Yeah, your turn 3 is pretty good. Be French.
The answer was enough for the wipers to come on.
Yeah, your time. What was your time? Your best is a 46.8. Yeah, that's pretty good. Your turn 1, I think, just could be optimized a little bit more. And then, like, yeah, on the entrance, I think you're slowing down maybe a little bit too much, because I can see you can actually, when you're entering the turn, you actually kind of correct because you actually rotate the car a little bit too much. And I could